Sunday the 4th of January. Last week I was mostly working on my reverse outline, finishing that up, finishing the new outline for draft 5.2, and I think it's working. I haven't let anyone else read it yet, but I think it's working. I'm going to try and move ahead this afternoon and work on a bit on outlining Act 2 Part 1 up to the death scene, and I will figure out where to go from there. This is with the feedback from Jenny that I got about making it one cohesive piece. So I have all the background information now in my head of what's happened in this universe, and that is from writing that first act of that first draft, because essentially everything that was going to happen after that is current and present stuff. Like, I don't think there's going to be any new information about the past that I'm adding in, if that makes sense. So I think I have all the puzzle pieces I need to move forward. I also now have a cohesive focal point, which is what I was lacking in that first attempt of this draft. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, we've decided to focal point on the rebels and have everything else play into that plot thread. I think it's going to work. I've been thinking about it for a couple of months and now finally putting it into action. Once I finish outlining that second half, we'll see how we go. I want to try and outline Act 2 today and tomorrow, and then send it off to Jenny and say, hey, I know I said I'd be done with this at the beginning of December, but I ran, like, you know how busy December gets. So here I am. I hope you'll read it. I hope you'll like it. And so on. Yeah, that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to be vlogging this week for the first time, and I'll let you know how this outline goes and if I get any feedback soon, or if I have to wait for a phone call with her to hear what she says. I'll keep you updated though. Okay, I'll see you guys in 5, where I'm at and what are my goals for 2026. Let's start off with my bitter end challenge. Now, I got very sidetracked in October, November and December, once I got my feedback from Jenny. Main thing is that she loves my voice, loves my writing, and thinks I'm on the right track, which is good. However, there's a caveat with that. The 100 pages that I sent to her of the first 7 chapters that I wrote of this new draft, she had an issue with, I guess, the way the pieces were connecting to each other. Is the best way to put it. She said that I had written things in certain chunks. So rather than having one cohesive thing and one having a full picture of the beginning of the book, I had sorted my pieces into edges, middle, and bits and pieces that don't belong in the puzzle box. So that's where I'm at with that first chapter. Now, that's where I stopped in October. Unfortunately, after that, I got a bit sidetracked with doing some market stuff, trying to make a bit of money so I could replenish my savings after I had spent so much money on certain writing things this year. Other than that, having that be a big issue of sidetracking, in the back of my head, I've been thinking, plotting, planning, and rearranging the bits and pieces, while also working on the reverse outline that Jenny said she'd be happy to look at once I'd gone that far again, once I was able to put that together again, because it was a bit challenging. As of this first week of January, I have finished the reverse outline. I have also restructured a new Act 1, which will take a bit of writing, but the bits and pieces I have already for Act 1 that I just wrote, I can reuse in my Act 2, because a lot of it is still usable, still viable. It's just in the wrong spot. So I've managed to restructure that. I've managed to make a new plan. I've made progress on that so far. I have the first 7 chapters outlined, ending with a focus on the rebels, because that's what Jenny suggested, making that the focal point of a story, and having Marius and all of that working in the background to be my twist in the middle of the book, or towards Act 3. I'm going to put it in the middle of the book, because I think that gives us a bit more time with Kira as well to really build her up before I kill her. Spoilers if you haven't read it. Yeah, so I have a new Act 1 that I need to write during these school holidays, during the next 3 weeks that I have off. I think it'll be about 25-30k, which is doable. I also need to do an outline for the rest of the book. Now, again, that comes with a caveat. I personally feel like I'm not a good outline. I can do it, I don't stick to it. And that's where my problem is, because I enjoy discovery writing and figuring things out as I go along. I don't like so much being bogged down with a plan and then the rigidity of it, of being stuck into that one thing. I like to go off in tangents when I'm writing and drafting a novel, but I think I know enough about the world and the characters now to be able to stick to this new plan and carry it through. That's where I'm at. That was the end, quarter 4 ending for me, writing wise. So I am now going into quarter 1 2026, as we all are, with a solid plan, which is fantastic. I've also been doing a couple of courses. So I did the Story Beats horror workshop back in October. I've also done 2 of CC Lyra's courses, which was the tension course and the line editing course. I'm done 1 lesson in the tension course. I only just finished watching the line editing course this week. Again, I've been very, very busy doing lots of different things. And yeah, so I've done some courses. I've got a plan. I'm ready to smash out my goals for this year, and particularly in quarter 1, the next 3 months, I want to have a finished draft. That way, when it comes to March, April, May, autumn here, we can do Aussie agented autumn, working on getting ready for querying. As for RevPit this year, I don't think I'm going to go and submit to it. I feel like it might be a bit unfair if I try to submit to Jenny again through RevPit after working with her all year on getting this draft to the state that it is in now. Maybe if we have it ready by that time, I might submit to some of the other editors just to participate, but whether or not I actually do it, I don't know. Yeah, that's where I'm at with my writing. Let me tell you some of the fun things games. What games did I play this year? I played The Last of Us 1 and 2, which sent me on this whole spiral of this edit. I played the Callisto Project, which was super fun. And I am currently playing Death Stranding, which I haven't touched in a while, but we'll save finishing that for after I finish this draft. TV shows. I've watched January, I watched Creep Tape Season 1. And then I didn't touch a TV show again for a while. The next TV show that I watched was Gen V, Season 2 in October. I started watching Masters of Horror in October as well. I think I only watched 1 episode of that, but I am interested in watching more because it's helping me to study short story structure, which I want to do a couple of this year. I've also watched Resident Alien during September to November. I watched Has Been Hotel Season 2. So. I watched The Creep Tapes Season 2 when it came out. I watched Monster, the Ed Gein story. And I've been watching Schitt's Creek and Gilmore Girls as my chill out when I need a break from intense things. Books. I read Fourth Wing. I reread the first 3 books of Akata. I'm getting to the point where I'm pretty much going to sell those books, I think, because I can't stand it anymore. I'm not enjoying them, and I have mixed feelings about the fandom and Sarah Maas and all of that. So I don't think I'll ever come back to those books again. This was like my 3rd read, and I was trying to get into reading the next one and reading The House of Earth and whatever it's called, but I'm not getting into it. I never got into Throne of Glass. Yeah, it's not for me, and at least not anymore. I reread the Hunger Games series, including the new one, which was Sunrise on the Reaping, which was great. I got to read it along with my brother, who really loves the series, but is not a big reader in general. I think he's only wanted to read it because of the movies. This is the other brother that is not the one I talk about all the time. I read The Clown in the Cornfield. I DNF'd it with like 2 hours left on the Audible book. It was convoluted. It was not difficult to read, but it was just like, what's the point here? What are we achieving? I read Game On, which was that dark, smutty book that everyone was raving about. Did not like it. As soon as Mafia was mentioned, it was like, yeah, nope. Not for me. You and Me on Vacation, which was, again, a book that my sister wanted me to read. Not a romance reader, and especially not how slow that was. Like, it was just dual timeline, back and forth, not really getting to a point. So it was like, movies. I watched over 50 movies this year, which is a lot. Probably need to watch less movies and read more books, but here we go. Starting in January, I watched Tarot. I watched Happy Death Day 1 and 2. March, I watched Crimson Peak. May, I watched Smile 1 and 2, and Terrifier, and Cocaine Bear, and Renfield, and Cloverfield. In June, I watched The Ugly Stepsister, Hypochondriac, The Book Box. I watched Assimilate, Heretic, Overshed, as well as Hell House LLC, the series, The Monkey, The Substance. In August, Would You Rather, Lake Mungo, The House with Jack Built, Abigail, The Watchers, Nosferatu, Warm Bodies, Never Have I Ever. In September, I watched The Void, The Prestige, and The Lighthouse. In October, I watched VHS Halloween. In November, I watched Bring Her Back, Barbarian, Until Dawn, Escape Room, Talk to Me, Men, and Frankenstein. And December, I watched nothing. It was a long list of movies. Some of it was things that I just needed a comfort watch. Was like distraction. A lot of it was distraction. Some of it was also horror movies that I was excited to watch. Things that I was trying to catch up on, trying to research to get ideas for. Now, having said all of that, here is where we're at for 2026. I have 3 words for my goal, which I am titling The 3 Eyes. I want to inspire. I want to be living a life and creating in a way that inspires others. I want to be having an impact on the students that I'm working with. Did you hear that thunder? It's about to start raining here. I want to continue to have a deep impact on the students that I'm working with and inspire them to do more. I want to be an inspiration to my family and to my friends and to all of you. And that's through these next 2 things, right? Which is improving, making sure that I am creating and outputting things to the best of my ability, and to do that, I want to improve. So I have already done some courses. now need to apply the content of those courses to my writing to improve. I have also signed up for a few other things as well this year that I want to improve, that will help me to achieve that goal and improve. And by doing both of these things, I am being intentional. Intentional being my third I word. I want to make sure that everything that I do, I am being intentional about it. I am not doing it wishy-washy or flippantly, or I want to be intentional in how I progress and improve and inspire. So my first intention this quarter is to finish the draft. I have January, February, March. Finish the draft, send it off to friends, see how we go. After that, or as I'm doing that, I'm going to be researching agents and making my first list. Okay, and I want to have a list of the first 10 people I want to sub to in May. Once I have given people a chance to read and give me feedback and implement that feedback. Again, so Racquel, I don't know if I'm going to do it this year or not. I don't think it would be very fair, but we'll see how we go. And then quarter 2 is querying and starting a new book and putting all the things that I've learned into that new book. I think I will be finishing up Silk and Steel for quarter 2 and quarter 3. And then, quarter 3, I want to work on Haunted Mansion. By the end of the year, I want to have these 3 books done. Last year, I had a lot of start-stop momentum after FPIT. I'm doing certain courses, doing a reverse outline that halted me on working on Satan for a while, sending it off to Jenny. It halted me for a while. Getting the feedback, I was halted for a while. So now that I have this solid plan, I want to make quick, purposeful, intentional movement. I also have, the personal life goal of moving out this year, of going into that new journey of my life. So that's where I'm at the beginning of this year. It is January 4th, and I am going to try and do a bit more of this plan before I send off these materials to Jenny, and hopefully I get some good feedback from it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sitting here listening to me rant a little bit and give you a recap of how my year has gone and where I'm going to go next. Let me know in the comments down below what your goals are and what you want to achieve this year. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.